Hello everybody, this is RC Ron and I'm coming to you with another programming video for the Futaba 14Sg. This particular video came about because someone had asked me. I do have a couple of electric planes. Most of you that have been looking at some of these videos realize that I primarily fly the larger gas-powered aircraft, 50 to 60 cc, and especially the Warbirds. That's just my choice. I enjoy it very much. But I do have a couple of electric aircraft also. On the gassers, we have a kill switch, an electronic kill switch, and you cannot start the engine. The engine will not run as long as that kill switch is in the off position. So it allows you to go ahead and prime, turn your prop to prime your carburetor, that kind of a thing. Absolutely no danger involved there. And then when you're ready to start it, you just simply take that switch, move it to the forward position, the on position, and then your engine is ready to run. Added advantage to that also is should you be on the ground taxiing and maybe you have a throttle that happens, a throttle servo that happens to bind on you or stop working, then if you're taxiing, all you've got to do is take and just shut it off with that kill switch. No one is endangered. Same situation. If you're in the air and that servo goes out, or for some reason, or even if you lose your radio signal, it will automatically go ahead and shut down your engine to where you can bring the plane on down. So anyway, it'll keep the plane right there in the area for you at any rate. So I think this is a tremendous safety factor for those of you that are flying the electric powered aircraft. Now what I want to emphasize is that in a similar manner, programming this kill switch on your electric aircraft will accomplish almost the very same things as that electronic kill switch does on the big gassers. And not only that, it will not require a separate channel or a separate external device to be used on your aircraft. Alright, now we're ready to go ahead and take care of our programming as far as this safety switch programming is concerned. One thing I want to point out, there is no extra channel needed on your radio in order to have this working. There's no external device that is required. So this is a tremendous advantage on here for those of you that may be running that 7-channel receiver and you're needing everything you can get as far as channels are concerned. So that's a tremendous advantage here. Also, you're able to go ahead and use a switch of your choice. Now I do want to point out, do not install the prop on your aircraft or on the motor until your radio programming is complete. What I normally do when I'm setting up an electric plane, because I've done it for many people and I've done it for myself, I normally just take a 6-volt battery and plug that into the battery in position on the receiver. I do not even connect the ESC until I have everything taken care of as far as my endpoints are concerned, my reversing is concerned, any special functions that you're setting up. I have everything done before I ever even connect that ESC. Then when I connect the ESC, I do not have the prop on it until I am sure that I've got the safety switch set up and until I'm sure that I've got the direction going the correct way as far as my throttle is concerned. So what we're going to do, first thing, is we're going into the function menu. So 2 taps, well, go into the link menu. 2 taps on link, then we're going down to the function. Select function. Now we're going down to, alright, I didn't mean to go on. So I'm going right back through We're going down to channel 3. Notice where I've positioned it here. Now then, I've already got mine set up to be working for the motor. However, all you have to do is tap your return button once you're in that position for channel 3. Then it allows you to go and select whatever function you want as far as that particular channel is concerned. So we're going down and we have a motor function. That is what's going to enable us to do all of the things that I was talking about. So we're going to select the motor function. It's going to ask for me to verify it. Now it comes up and it says, do you want to reverse it or not? I will point this out. With the Futaba radio, I have never found an ESC that I've ever connected, and I've done quite a few models for other people and the few that I've done for myself. I have never found an ESC, although there may be an exception to that, but what you had to go and reverse the direction of your throttle in order to have the throttle working correctly with the right direction of your stick. So what we want to do is go ahead and just go down, and it says, do you want to reverse it or not? So we're going to choose reverse, tap your return, and you've got it reversed. Alright, now then, what we're going to do here is just back out of that, and we're going down to the, we've already got our function set, so we're going down to our endpoint. Enter in, and you want to move right on down, and you'll notice that it's showing your proper function here, motor now. If that's still showing throttle on there, then you did not get it changed the way you were supposed to. So you'll have to go back and redo that. I don't think it's a big problem for anybody to get it right, but anyway, this is just letting you know, MOT, this is your motor function. What I've done is I've set it up. It normally comes up about 135 for each of your endpoints, and then we go ahead and adjust those for the different channels. I normally just go ahead and set everything 135 on my motor channel. So now that I've got that set, what I'm going to do is just back out of this. Alright, we're going to the model menu. 2 taps. We're in the model menu. Now what we want to do is hit S1. We want to go to the second page of the model menu. Select motor. Now this is where we do our actual programming to get this function working properly. First thing you want to do is go down to the actuate, next line. Just cursor down. Here you can select it off or inhibit or on. We want it on. So you select it with the return button. You've got that done. Now we go down one more, and this is where we select our switch. I think most everybody knows how to do that, but I'm going to take you through it just for those people that are new to this. So you select the switch that you want. All you have to do is tap your return button when you're in that switch position. We want switch B, which is where I had it set. As soon as I hit the return button and choose switch B, it gives me this on off to the right side, which allows me to set my direction. So I will tap there. Now I can scroll right down, and I said that I always use the switch D or switch B for my throttle. So it's letting me take switch B and set the direction the way I want it. So what I want is for it to be in the off position here. So I select turn it to off, then go ahead and finalize it. I want my middle position the same thing, off. What I want, the reason I'm doing this, you may choose to do it differently if you so desire, but I only want one position for that switch to be in that will allow that motor to be running. That way, if I'm carrying the plane in one hand out to the flight line and I've got my transmitter in the other hand and I get a gust of wind or something like that, I don't have to worry about accidentally hitting the throttle a little bit and causing that motor to start turning. And I believe most of you that's been flying electrics for a while has seen that happen more than one time. I've seen people get hurt that way more than one time. So, what we want to do, my preference, have two off positions and then only in the up position. Now, I was going to try and get that in the camera, but I can't do that at this point. But you'll notice when I pull my switch, I've got my switch in the bottom position right here. Then I've got it off. Middle position is still off. And then my switch B in the forward or towards the top of the transmitter turns it on. At that point, you'll be able to operate your throttle when you're out there flying. But until you put it in that one position, if you happen to bump the throttle, you're going to be safe still. So what we want to do at this point now, we've got our switch set. So we're going back out of this. And we're going to back out one more time. And we're back into our motor function. Now we've already actuated it, we've already selected switch B. This has a place for a starting switch also. Now this start switch position here is primarily there to control your second page options. We're not really concerned about that. All we want to do is set up this safety switch. But this does give some options on page 2. But the manual says that those options are aimed at certain gliders. I really don't understand what they're actually trying to accomplish. There's like 2 different speed ranges there that can be controlled separately by switches. We're not really getting into that, and since I don't really understand what they're trying to accomplish, there's no point in me trying to explain to you how to set it up and make it useful. We're staying definitely just with the safety switch. So that's all we need to do here is just have that one right here, start switch, in with the 2 dashes or the always on position. Now then you can go right on down, and this is very important, motor off position. You'll notice when I'm moving, I've got my switch B in the correct position now, and that's showing my movement on my graph over here. So the off position is all the way down. That's where I want the off position to be. If you can set the off position anywhere you want as far as that is concerned. But we're down to where it's all the way down on the graph. So all you have to do to set this, hold the return for 1 second. At this point, we have the motor function set for 100%. Now you don't worry about this curve situation here. I always handle curves and that kind of a thing with my Expo anyway. So, with that having been done, we have this function set up. So what we're going to do is just go ahead and back out of it. Now we're back to our starting menu. Now what I want to do, let's just go to the model menus for one moment. And I want you to see how it's working as far as our our radio is concerned. Go ahead and select that servo function in the model menu. Now, with this done, I've pulled my switch down to the bottom position. I move my throttle. Absolutely nothing transpiring here in channel 3, and you'll notice that because this is reversed, this is my off position here. Now then, I can move it up to the second position, my switch. Same situation. Nothing is happening, no response to my throttle stick at all. So then when I go up and I place it in the top position, I've switched it on now, and you'll notice that the throttle is moving, the graph is responding to what's happening. So that shows you that we've got it set up correctly. Now let me show you something. Right here we're in the idle position. Let's just put it about half throttle. If I take my on-off switch, switch B, move it to the middle position, watch what happens on the graph. I'm back in the on position. I've got it all the way up. If I turn that off, it goes back to the off position. That's exactly what we want. It will shut that motor off if you accidentally bump this, or if you intend to do that. Should your plane be moving out of control, it will shut it off. So, that gives us an additional safety factor. How many of you know of people that have accidentally turned the motor on in their plane room, in their basement, their garage, wherever they happen to be working on one, and had it go halfway across the garage floor before they realized it? It took them that long to be able to stop it. At least here, you've got your transmitter in your hand. You can just shut it off automatically. So now you have all the information you need to set up this safety switch. I want to say thanks for watching, and I hope that this video will add an additional measure of safety to your RC flying. I just want to emphasize I do appreciate your support, and I hope that your next flight will be your best one ever. Take care. From RC Ron.